Hey, guys, what's up? Welcome back. Next lesson 1-2 circles and angles. This is going to be kind of broken up into a couple chunks. First chunk is some notes. Second chunk is going to be some drawing. So let's run through the notes first. We'll go through all the definitions and stuff that you need to put in your notebook. So make sure you're writing all this junk down, definitions, examples. And then we'll cut to doing some drawing. I'm excited. You can just draw along with the video today. Yeah, let's jump in. Let's do it. Here we go. Circles and angles. This is great. So I want to say really quickly, actually before I start, prior to the tools that are used in hand drafting, a lot of them, there were some significant advances, certainly, but I mean, a lot of these are very crude instruments, a straight edge, and then, the tools that we're going to learn today, they've been around for a long time, and this is how people have drawn, we're talking like a long time, thousands of years, or hundreds of years, so this is some really cool stuff that we're going to do. Very historical. You're like ancient mathematicians here. First thing we got to know is we got to make sure we know our vocabulary. Do you guys know the language of a circle? First of all, what is the definition of a circle? The mathematical definition of a circle. See if you guys can guess. You can pause the video, take some suggestions. How do you define what a circle is? It's round. What would you say? An oval or an ellipse is round? How is a circle? What is the definition of a circle? Pause the video, take some guesses, and then I'll reveal in just a sec. Okay, so definition of a circle is a collection of points equidistant, so the same distance, so it's every point that is in a two-dimensional plane equidistant from a single point. So basically, here's that single point, and these are all the points that are the same distance away. This point is that distance away, this point is that distance away, this point is that distance away, and the distance that I'm talking about is called the radius. That has a name. Okay? The radius goes from here down to the center of our circle, and the distance all the way across through the center, this is the center of the circle, that distance all the way across through the center is called the diameter. There's other key features of circles. Like if you have a straight line that cuts across like this, that's not a diameter because, well, A, it's not straight, and B, it doesn't go through the center. We call this a chord in mathematics. So diameter has to go through the middle. And it's true that if you know the radius, then you know the diameter. The diameter is always double 2 times the radius. And if you know the diameter, then you must know the radius, because the radius is always half of the diameter. So if you know one, you know the other, just by doing a simple doubling or halving, which is pretty cool. So radius is always that distance from the center to the points that we're talking about, the outside. And what's the distance all the way around the outside called? That's called the circumference. Circumference is the diameter times pi. Or, since the diameter is 2 times r, you could say 2r pi or 2 pi r. So you can multiply those together to get roughly 3 diameters is the distance around the outside of the circle, a little bit more than that. Okay? Cool. So these are our circle definitions, circle words. Awesome. Great. Let's get this thing out of the way. Get out of here, thing. Okay, perfect. All right, so what are the parts of a compass? Here I've got my trusty little compass. This compass came from a friend who is a architect and engineer. Hooked me up with this compass. This is a nice one, and it's really, really sharp. At one time, I poked myself with this needle, and it really, let's see if I can zoom in. I mean, you're going to see it here in a sec, but get a load of this thing. Razor sharp. I mean, you're zoomed way in. That thing, I could tattoo myself with this thing right now. I mean, I'm not going to, unless enough people start chanting my name. Just kidding. Don't do that. Parts of the compass. You have your needle here. The needle goes in the center of the circle, whatever the circle is that you're drawing, and you can see that on the board. And then this little twisty doohickey is what sets that is what sets that radius. If you twist, you can see that one side is stretching out. If you twist the other direction, the other side is coming back in. And you know what? I thought I brought, man, there's some weird stuff that TSA had to look through my luggage. I thought I brought another compass. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go check my bag and see if I have another one. All right, you guys are in luck. I did. I brought another compass in my bag. And I have both of these kinds on the shelf by where you walk in for you to use. There's this one, there's these type with the twisty in the middle and these really sharp needles, so please be careful. And then I have this other brand, I like these two, SI Manufacturing. And these have kind of a little wing nut on the front. It's called a wing nut. That was also my nickname in high school, by the way. So when you can loosen that and make your compass quite large. It's a real quick and easy way, and then you just tighten the wing nut back down if you want to make a bigger circle. So I like to use these ones if I'm doing really big circles. Now the needle on this one is not quite as sharp, but that's going to be good for some of y'all, because I don't want y'all to get poked. So I use this one for bigger circles, and I use these really nice ones if you're like a perfectionist who really likes doing accurate notes. Now you'll notice you want to make sure the needle's real tight in there and the bit of lead as well if you're dealing with this. And I probably should not have been on like the tiny mode. You want to make sure that these little knobs are screwed down and you got stuff locked in there. You don't want them too tight. You don't want to bust the lead with the tightener. But anyways, we know the parts of a compass. Let's jump back in here. And even the one that's on there is different, so that's a cool type too. They make them like that as well. Okay, great. And I'm going to do a demo. I'm going to do a demo with a compass here in just a minute. Okay, so we're going to do some practice with that. Before you start jamming these into your tables, guys, I'm sure I'm too slow, and I'm sure somebody's already done it. Please don't do that. It really will damage the table surface because these are sharp. It helps when you're practicing drawing with the sharp ones, or even with the regular ones, if you take and stack up some sheets of paper. So get some scrap paper, or get I wouldn't put a folder. You need it to be really flat for your circles to look good. So get a couple pieces of scrap paper and put that underneath the paper that you're drawing on, or maybe your notebook or something, but you just don't want the rings to get in the way. You want your paper to be really flat. So I like putting a couple scrap sheets of paper down. That helps your needle not poke through and damage the table. So please be careful of that. Okay, and we're going to do a demo with this in just a little bit. So hang tight for that. Okay, what does the protractor do? Protractor. Protractor is kind of something else completely. So we're just taking notes right now. We'll do the demos here in just a little bit. The protractor allows us to draw accurate angles, and we're going to need that for today's drawing. We're going to need all these tools. We'll need our ruler from last time. We're going to need our compass, the thing that I was just talking about. We're going to need our protractor. I want you to look at this as a class. I want you to tell me there's functionally, now these two rulers have a couple differences, but there's a couple key ones that I would like you guys to try and find as a class. Take your time, don't rush. Maybe you'll be able to list more than what I can find. Okay, but there's one functional difference that would really mess up most of the class, or not most of the class, a lot of people that aren't familiar with using one of these. So maybe you've seen these in a math class before. Allows you to find the angle, how far something has been turned. So pause the video and talk about the differences between these two. Okay, here we go. So couple things. Number one, key difference. It looks like the numbers count up the same way, right? It goes from, this one goes down to 10, it looks like 10, but it actually starts at 0 there, and this spins all the way to 180 this way. This side starts at 0 and goes all the way to 180 this way, and that's because a 180 is a half turn. So if you spin a full spin all the way around, that's 360 degrees. And anybody that does skiing or snowboarding probably knows their rotations, or figure skating, or maybe skateboarding or something like that. So what are the key differences between these two protractors? Well, obviously we have our measuring scale. So if you found the metric measuring scale here on the top and the customary units down here on the bottom. That's outstanding. Good job. Functionally, though, if you're going to use a protractor, the top one you line up on the bottom of the ruler to make your angle. But on the bottom one, you don't line at the bottom because 0 is right here. You actually have to line it up with this little hole that's present. So when you guys are going to be using your protractors today to draw angles, that's what these are called, protractors, make sure that you are mindful of where you're starting your drawing from. Do we start right here, the bottom, or do we start in this little dot? And the way to tell is you just look over here on the edge, just like this. Okay? Super. All right, let's go over the different types of angles. So let's recap. We've got our compass. This allows us to draw circles. Place the needle. You kind of spin and twist it in a very slow motion. Sometimes people will not twist it at all, and they'll actually spin their paper or spin the wood that they're drawing on. So that's one method. So it allows us to draw circles, perfect circles. Protractors allows us to get accurate measurements of angle, because an angle is not a distance. We can't draw angles with a ruler. This measures distance, length, right? A protractor doesn't measure length. We don't know how long some of the arms or the legs of the angle are. We just know kind of where they're pointing, which is kind of cool. All right, I think I've probably driven this into the ground. Let's go over some key angle vocabulary. So if you know these, you can shout them out, see if you guys can guess them. I'm going to draw a couple angles here and have you guys take a look. See if you can guess. Let's take a look at this one here first. If these two cross like this, like at a crosswalk, boom, boom, they're running into each other. We put a little square there. This means, and technically these are supposed to have arrows coming off here, this is called a right angle. Right angle, look at that. Okay, this is called a right angle, and a right angle is it's 1/4 turn, which is exactly 90 degrees. So we're going to draw one of those with our protractors in just a minute. Good. That's a right angle. See if you guys can remember some of these other ones. All right, what do we call this one right here? And if it's not a right angle, we can just put a blue line there. If it's not a right angle, draw your arrows on the legs of your angle here. I think they're called legs. Boy, it's been a while since I taught geometry. What do we call something that's less than 90 degrees? If an angle is less than 90 degrees, we call that an acute angle. I'm sure some of you said it. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Way to go. Nice job. An acute angle, so cute. It's less than 90. Oh no, my face is in the way. Come on, Slagle. Just a sec. I think I should be able to, yeah. Get my head out of the way. Sweet. All right, cool. All right, so we have the acute angle. Watch me just write in my face on the next one. Good, and we're going to draw an angle that is, let's say, we're going to draw an angle that is 28 degrees in just a minute. So we're going to do that. That'll be our acute angle that we draw. Remember that number, 28 degrees. Okay, moving on. Let's go down to this next one. What do we call an angle that's bigger than 90 degrees? An angle that's bigger than 90 down here, we would call that an obtuse angle. Anything that's bigger than 90 is obtuse angles are greater than 90. So equal to 90 is right, less than 90 is acute, and greater than 90 is obtuse. Or like Mr. Slagle, quit being so obtuse. You're obtuse. You take that back. Okay, here we go. And then down here, what if we have an angle that's bigger than 180 degrees? 180 degree angle is called a straight angle. But what if we turn more, right? This is showing how far we turn, right? Here we're turning bigger than 90 but less than 180. That's an obtuse angle. So it's greater than 90, but I should also say it's less than 180, and I should have made that green technically. All right, I'm going to follow my own methods. Sorry, guys, I'm sorry. Forgive me, please. Forgive me. Greater than 90, less than 180 degrees. Great. Moving on. This one's a little bit tougher. This is called a reflex angle. So a reflex angle, oh, I thought I was right. I wish I could draw like a mustache on me. That'd be cool. Reflex angle is an angle that is, we've got to be careful. Reflex angle is one that is greater than 180 degrees. So we're going to practice drawing all of these together. We're going to do a right angle, an acute angle, an obtuse angle, and a reflex angle here in just a minute once I transition over to my hand drawing page. Okay, I got one. So make sure you have these in your notes. Just have a little sketch. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't even have to use your protractor. Just make sure you have one that looks roughly right, one that's less than 90, and you know that's acute, blah, 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 blah. Pause the video, wait for people to catch up. We're moving on to the next slide. This is what we're going to draw in just a minute, and my head is in the way yet again. So this is what we're going to draw here in just a second. So please take a picture on your phone, and you know what? I will post this image on the class website as well, so you guys can have it maybe pulled up on a computer or you know, something. Maybe Armstrong will have a couple copies printed off. I probably should have said that. I'll send it to Armstrong too. But I'll post this on the website. You can have it pulled up and looking at it, or you can take a picture on your phones now to have that as a reference. We're going to draw this, and this looks tough. Remember, the idea is for everybody to have the same drawing by the time we're done drawing. But that's going to be in a little bit after we do the 4 angles. So in just a second, we're going to practice drawing some circles with our compass, and then we're going to do 4 angles, and then we're going to draw this together. So that's it for the lesson and the note taking. Please go ahead and pass out. Let's get a couple pieces of scratch paper for the bottom to practice our angles and our compass work. You could also do those in your notebook if you like. That's fine. Practice. Go ahead and practice your circles and your angles in your notebook, and then Mr. Armstrong's going to pass out a quick setup page, drafting like the one we made yesterday. Make sure you got your title on there, and I'll go over that in just a minute. This time you don't have to draw it. I have some photocopies that he should be able to print off. Or maybe he'll make you draw it because he feels like it, and that's okay too. Okay, we'll come back in just a minute with the document camera. Alright, you guys, we're back, and we're going to do some drawing here in just 1 second. So first things first, I've got a couple layers of paper, or I guess have one layer of paper. I'll be gentle. Let's first practice drawing. If you want to make things accurate, if I wanted to draw a circle with, say, maybe like a 3-inch, let's do like a 3-inch diameter. If I want to draw a circle with a 3-inch diameter, how do I do that with this compass? Let's do it. Pretty easy. So 3-inch diameter, you don't set this to 3. You can hold this up to your ruler and measure. You want to set it, because this is a radius, remember, and I said 3-inch diameter, you actually want to set this up to 1.5. So go down to your ruler, because the radius is half the diameter, loosen up the wing nut, and stretch this baby out, just like that. Perfect. Okay. Okay, now when you tighten it down, you have to be careful and go really slow, because sometimes the tightening of the wing nut present will cause the pencil to move a little bit. So I have it set to 1.5 inches. I can remove my ruler here, and you can grab it. You spin by the needle, right? So you put some weight on the needle, and then you're able to, if I want to draw make sure this is my scrap paper. If I want to draw a 3-inch circle, you just very slowly, I'm kind of angling. You'll notice I kind of tilt my compass here. Kind of go around like this. You can also rotate the paper as long as that needle stays in the same spot. If it falls off, it's not the end of the world. Go around in a circle, and there you go. And there's like I have a couple little, imperfections there. You can go back and clean that up and make a nice, pretty little circle with your compass. Okay. All right, so I can see the center of my circle. I have it right there. That's where the needle was. So let's say I wanted to draw an 1.5 inch. I wanted to draw an 1.5 inch circle on the inside, something with half the diameter. I could bring my more accurate one in, and I would set that to 3/4 of an inch, because 3/4 of an inch is half of my previous diameter. So I'm going to set that in. I'm not going to press hard. I'm not going to press hard because this needle is very sharp. You can also go back the other direction. You don't have to go one direction at the same time, and you can spin and lift up and make, you know, nice accurate marks. And there we go. Hope I didn't mark up the table too bad. There we go. That's kind of hard to see. We'll zoom in on my work here. You can see that there. I have 2 circles drawn. Looks nice and pretty cool. So we know how to use our compass. So let's put these away for now. Let's switch over to the protractor and let's draw some angles. I'm going to flip my page over. I won't need my ruler. I'm just going to use my protractor. And I've got 2 types here. I got both types. Well, kind of. I think I like this. We'll just use this kind of standard one here. It's okay. We can use both. I'll use this tiny one first. All right, so let's do our right angle. Do a right angle real quick. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do for my right angle is, it's okay if it's a little bit slanted on your page. We're still going to make it a right angle. In fact, I'll start it a little bit slanted just to make everybody uncomfortable. So I'm going to have my starting, I think they're called rays. Ray, I said leg. That's what a triangle has. These have rays. Okay, so here we go. Gosh, I'm getting rusty. So you take the center point of your protractor right here. Make sure we're focused up, looking good. In focus, like Ben Franklin. Okay, coming down. He invented spectacles, right? How did this guy become a teacher? I don't understand. Does he even know anything? Anyways. So what did I do for my right angle? I lined up my little target, my bullseye, got her down the line, and then I made my mark up here at 90 degrees to make my right angle. Now notice how I haven't drawn it yet. You can then take the edge of your protractor like that and bring that baby down. Make sure to put the end of your angle ray there and draw your right angle. Isn't that beautiful? Golly. That is a sight to behold. What a beautiful, absolutely stunning right angle. Oh, nice. Okay. You know, if we had this tool, that would have made drawing that rectangle yesterday a little bit easier, because all we would have needed was one side, and then we could have used the protractor to get the rest. Come on. All right, acute. This is a 90 degrees. Make sure you make a note on there. 90-degree angle. We're going to draw an acute angle. So cute. We're going to make our acute angle, what did I say? What did I say? 27 degrees? No problem. No problem. I'm going to get my starting line straight there. Bingo. Ooh, you know, I'm going to make you guys uncomfortable. We're going to make this the spot over here. We're going to go to the left this time. Oh, come on. Hey, yeah, we can do it. The end point right there. We're going to line this up, and we're going to count 27 here. So I got my crosshairs right on that line. And make sure when your crosshairs are on that line, make sure that this line is following that line as well over here on the left. So get that lined up. 27 degrees. Now we're counting up this way to 27. And you ignore, I know this says 180, but that's for the other side if you were to count this way. So just be careful. Okay, we're going to go up to 10, 20, 30, and then we're going to come back 3, 29, 28, 27, and I got to get right over this thing, 26, 27, and I'm going to put a little mark. Look at that. Stunning. And you don't have to go draw all the way out to the mark. You can go kind of right before. Right out there. Look at that. Look at that. Draw your little line. You've got a 27-degree angle. I'm going to text a picture of this to my mom right now. She's going to be so proud of me. It'll be like the second time she's been proud. Just kidding. I shouldn't. My mom is a saint. She's a saint. Saint Gloria. All right. This thing in focus. All right, let's do it. One more. Obtuse. When I say one more, I actually mean two more because we're going to do a reflex angle too. All right, obtuse angle. Let's do 123 degrees. And to make everyone uncomfortable, I'm going to mix it up here. I'm going to draw my line. We'll make it a little bit slanted this time. That's my starting line. Focus. Focus. Okay, got my vertex there. Okay, here we go. Lining this up. Got a ray, lining my starting up. Now this time, this is where it gets a little tricky. I've lined up my crosshair there on my ray to draw out my 123 degree angle. Did I say that? 123 degrees. Bingo. Okay, bigger than 90. It's obtuse. But we're not going to count. You don't go to right here. If you're trying to draw right here, that's not correct. That would actually be like a 62 degree angle because we're counting up from 0, so you have to use this inside scale. So if I want to get to 123 degrees, I'm holding steady on my target. I've got my line underneath right there, okay? And I'm actually using the inside scale to make my measurement here. So I'm going to come around to there's 90. It turns out 90 is in the same spot both ways. That's why it's not written twice. 90, 100, 110, 120 right there. Bingo. There's my mark. I've made my mark at 120, 1, 2, 3. All right? And that should look bigger than 90. It should be a bigger turn than 90 degrees. So then I can line that up there. Bazinga. Straight on out. You guys should have these bad boys in your notes. Be practicing with me. Here's my 123 degree angle. That's a beauty. All right, now this time, let me zoom out a smidge. Oh, look at these wonderful angles. I'm going to mix it up and use that other protractor here. Let's do our reflex angle. Yeah, I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Oh, I didn't give myself enough room. Excuse me, everyone. Excuse me. Coming up here. I wish I knew your guys' names. John, in the back. Hey. All right, thanks for focusing. Thank you, John. Is there a John? Hope there's a John. That's my guess. Reflex angle. I said bigger than... Yeah. Let's do our reflex angle. I said bigger than 180. Let's do 100... No. Let's do 235. We're going to do a 235 degree angle here. And we will start. So let's have that be our start. Do we have enough room? Oh, I don't even think we have enough room. We'll go like this. I'm going to start right here. We're going to get our line coming out this way. 235 degree angle. Alright, there's my starting ray. I'm going to take and line this bad boy up right there on that line. Make sure that that dot is right in the center of my crosshairs. And you'll notice I can't count up to 235 on this scale, right? If I start over here, 10, 20, all the way to 160, 170, that's 180. That's as high as I can count. So I make a mark. Bingo, right there. Look at that. That mark right there indicates my full straight line, a straight angle. Boom. If I were to connect those with my ruler, that would be good. And then what I can do is I can say, well, 235 is how many degrees past 180? Well, to get to 200, this is 35 past 200. To get from 180 to 200 is 20, so 20 plus 35 gives me 55. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to line this side up just like that. So I've spun all the way around this way, and I'm coming back this way another 55 degrees. So I'm counting up on the inside scale here. So this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 50, and you count on those tick marks on the outside, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, right in the middle. Look at that. Okay, so now this little dot right here was for my 180s, right, to get boom, and then all the way 235 is going to be over here. So I can line these up like so. Look at that. Unbelievable. And you don't even have to go all the way to the dot. There's my reflex angle all the way around right there, 235 degrees, and a smiley face. All right, we've done our angles, ladies and gentlemen. And this video is getting pretty long. I'm going to probably cut right here, and then we're going to jump in with a new video for the drawing along with the Captain America logo or whatever. I think this is one of those pins that goes on an Army officer. I'm actually not sure what it represents. Sorry, guys, it was from a drafting book. All right, we'll come back here in just a minute with a second clip.